Hi Susie, I'm sorry it took me so long to get you this video. I've been transferring over into a new phone and it took parts of every day this week. So I'm now at home. I don't have all of my makeup palettes with me. They're at work. I just have my own palette here, but I want to go ahead and make your tutorial so that I can get it to you in a timely fashion, or what's left of what's considered a timely fashion. So I'm going to be using the colors that I use on my face, but I'm going to be using the names as I describe what to do with them of the colors that we prescribed for you. So I wanted to start by saying this is not the 3D brush, but I prescribed the 3D prescribed. I recommended the 3D brush for you. So I'll be using this, but you're going to use your 3D brush instead, the round fuller end, and then it's got the more narrow end similar to this brush. Okay, so what you want to do is arrange your palette from usually light to dark, works pretty good, and keep one of the lids, because if you need to change out one of your tins, sometimes it can be hard not to get your fingers stuck in there in that cream makeup, and so you can slide this right under and pop the tin out without getting your makeup, digging into your makeup with your nail. So it's handy to keep at least one of those around. And then also, if you have any issues with as you're using the makeup, you can melt the tins down and resurface them, and take a little toothpick and swirl out any fuzzies or dust that gets caught in there, and it looks brand spanking new, and you'll use every drop of the cream out of the tins too, which makes it very cost effective. Of course, the tins are very, very pigmented. The colors are pigmented, so a little bit goes a long way. You'll be surprised how much use you get out of this makeup, and less is more. You don't want it to feel sticky or tacky on your face, so think in terms of as little makeup as possible. So I fixed you up with Athens as your bridge color. So that's going to be the color that's going to cover the main part of your face. You have really lovely clear skin, so you're not going to need a lot of the makeup anyway. But you can use the fuller side of your 3D brush, and you can just tap that on in areas where you usually like coverage. Areas where you're trying to even out ruddiness on the skin, discoloration, and just to give an overall nice enhancement to the tone of your skin, okay? I like to put it just in the places where I don't want other product, and that's the great thing about 3D makeup, because they're all creams, they play together nicely, and they sort of bond together and become like one single layer of a satiny finish on the skin. So I go like down the center of my face, out to the sides, around my lips, my mouth, on my chin, maybe on the lower part of my jawline, let's see, you did not get a bronzer, so you may even want to do a little bit on your cheeks there. So you tap all that on. Remember to stipple and tap, don't drag or buff. If you drag and buff, you're going to notice the cream wanting to settle in the fine lines. But if you stipple it, it will literally like float right above your skin, and your skin will look so pretty, so pretty. So you just get your bridge color on there. I also recommended white peach for you. That's the lighter color. That's going to be your pop color, the areas that you put on the areas of face that will brighten and lighten and draw attention to the bone structure you're trying to enhance. Also can act like a camouflage color, like if you want to go a little bit underneath your eyes. I like to even just use my finger for that and tap it on so that it stays right in those areas of discoloration. But you can use the pointed end of your 3D brush to lightly just sort of blend it out too, if you feel like it got a little bit too much on there, or if it looks like it's not blending well, you can use that smaller area to get in areas of your face that are tighter. If you wanted to go over your eyelids, your brow bone, those will all be great places for white peach. And you can use Athens on there too. Just depending on how much discoloration. The more discoloration you have, the darker color you need. So if you're real dark, you might want to go in with your Athens and then just touch a little bit of the white peach on top of it to brighten it. But your white peach, after you get your Athens on, your white peach can go like in the center of your forehead. I like to make like a little chicken foot there, and down the center of your nose, on the bow of your lip, on the tip of your chin, and even a little like on the back part of the top of your cheekbone. Like not where you put the blush, just like right on top of that. almost up into that under orbital eye area there. Once you get that on, you can just take the other end of your 3D brush and again stipple and tap until it looks blended. Should not take you too long, and you should not need too much of it. If you feel it and it feels sticky or tacky, you got too much on, in which case you want to keep sort of tapping that out. You can also take a makeup sponge and just sort of roll it over your skin. It'll pick up the excess, but it'll leave behind the perfect amount. So that's a good tip. And then we had you get 2 lip and cheek colors, Nude and Madrid, which are 2 of my favorites. I liked the nude for you because I didn't really feel like you needed contour, but I feel like nude is a great color to use as a contour when you just want to create some tonal sculpting to the face without having to get really hardcore with those darker, ashy, shadowy colors. So I'm going to take, you could take like the pointed end, or you could take the fuller end, either one, and just sort of press your fingers down on it to compress it a little bit and go into that nude color of the lip and cheek, which again, you can put it on your lips and your cheeks. But then you can just go right in through here with your nude. You can use it just like a regular blush if you want, but I wanted to show you how to use the nude around the corners of your face just to help with that sort of tonal sculpting, because that's what this makeup's all about, is the 3D effect. It really contours and highlights the planes of your face in a very attractive way. So I'm using, I'll use this side so you can show you the smaller side, like your brush. You can go in there and just put it under your cheekbone, where normally we put the blush on top of the apple of our cheek. But notice how nude is such a amazing color because it's not super bright, you know, with the pinkiness of it or anything. So you can kind of use it like a neutral and just go in and contour a little bit with it. You can also just use it on the apples of your cheeks if that's what you want to do. But like what I like to do with the nude is I do that, and then I go in with my Madrid, the lighter corally color, and I like to put that on like the apple of my cheek and through there. You could also just use your finger, like cheetah style, little cheetah spots. Get it on there, and then again, take your brush and stipple and tap. Remember, when you're using the lip and cheek colors, when you're stippling and tapping that color in, there's blood rushing to the surface of your skin, so it's going to look kind of bright and intense. Try not to stipple it to the point where you take it off the skin. Give yourself 5 or 10 seconds, step back, and you'll see as the blood recedes from the skin, it just looks very, very natural. It doesn't look clownish, but at first you're going to be like, whoa, I got a little too much, but it's really not. It's not too much, as long as it doesn't feel sticky or tacky. Okay, we had you get the Photoshop illuminator, which I don't have with me because I'm not at the shop, and that's where I keep all my palettes. But the Photoshop is going to be beautiful on you. It was beautiful on you. I'm going to just use my cream illuminator on me to show you where you would want to put your Photoshop. So you could do that at the tops of the cheekbones. You could even bring it around, if you smile, on a little bit of the apple of the cheek, just depending on how much like light reflection you're looking for. I love to use it down the center of my nose, the tip of my nose, and then a little in the center of my forehead. Really, the same places that you use your white peach, the lighter highlight color, to make the light bounce off. You could go over that, or you could use it instead of that in some of those same areas. And because it's, you know, got the shimmer thing going on, you can use it on top of your lip and cheek color. When you use it as lip color, you can use it just on your lips without any other color, just to give it some iridescence. But it's really, the shimmery is going to be beautiful for reflecting the light. And I loved the idea of you using the Photoshop as a little bit of an eyeshadow, like in the inner corner of the eye. You could drag it across the lid. You could take the tip of your finger on that powder and just tap lightly right on your brow bone underneath your eyebrow. Since I don't have it, I can't really show you how to do that. I'm going to just use a little bit of my eyeshadow there. But you can do the same thing with that Photoshop, which is, I think, what we got for you. You know, the inside corner of the eye. Even right here on the tear duct, Just adding a little bit right there is going to be beautiful. And the tone of that Photoshop, that rosy tone, it's going to be really pretty on you. So you can put it on the bow of your lip. Any place like that, you're gonna really love the way it looks. So if you step back and anything looks too strong, you can just take that brush and just lightly, softly buff it around or tap it around. You can take, like I said, a makeup sponge, like a blender, a beauty blender, and just sort of press and roll, and it's going to soften everything, and you are going to be good to go. You did not get the brush cleanser, which is fine. I just wanted to show you that if you get like product as you're switching back and forth between your colors, if you'll take a cloth, a microfiber cloth works great, but it can be any kind of washcloth, and just sort of buff it off. Buff it off. If it starts to look like it's building up a little bit more than usual, you can take your cloth and wet it and really wring it out good. You want it barely damp, and then go ahead and swirl it on a dampened cloth. And then swirl it again on the dry part of the cloth, just to make sure that the bristles are dry, because if you're going to go to using it right away, you don't want any wetness on there. And if down the road you feel like you need the cleanser, you can always purchase that. But in the meantime, just make sure that you don't get water at the roots of your brush. These are really high quality brushes, but they're just not designed to get wet down at the roots. So if you had to use like a mild soap and a silicone scrubby pad to deep clean like once in a great while, like not very often, you could do that, but you just want to make sure that the water was just running down and hitting like the edges of it. Swirl it, scrub it, then rinse very carefully with the water just hitting the edge. Don't like put it under the stream of water like this. And then sort of take a towel and compress it, squeeze the moisture out of it, and let it air dry completely before you use it. So I didn't get a lot of makeup on here, but hopefully you got the idea. I'm just going for my natural at-home face today. But if you have any questions or if you run into any problems, I'm here to help troubleshoot if there's any issues with the makeup, or tips and tricks you'd like, or techniques you want to learn with your makeup. I love doing this, so I'm thrilled to help you with anything you might have questions or issues with. So feel free to reach out to me at any time, as usual, because I love you, Okay. So hope you like it. Let me know, and I would love to see a picture if you're so inclined to send me one. I'd love to see, after you get used to using the makeup and get it all set up, I'd love to see a little bit of a selfie, see how you're looking. I know it's going to be great. Love you. Bye.